Greetings everyone, Joseph James with your nightly newsletter, July 7th, 2009. Today was a Tuesday. Let's talk about the results for today. Now, kind of a choppy back and forth day as you guys saw. We'll go over it a little bit later. $830 went 6 for 8 today here in the room. $830 USD for 3 contracts. That brings our weekly total here to $1220. All right, so just over 200 yesterday. Just over $200 yesterday. Puts us over $1,000 the week here. And as you can see, our monthly total here now creeping up, now $1795 USD on 3 contracts, guys. That's an account size of about 2,500 USD. $1,700 so far. We'll keep you posted as we go through the month. Term of the day today is brackets, or a bracket. And now we use this term all the time in our trade room, and I want to make sure you guys have a good solid foundation of knowledge about this stuff. Now, what are brackets, or what is a price bracket? Well, we use this in a James Wave methodology, right? So you're going to hear us use the term outside the bracket, working inside the bracket, breaking out of the bracket. Right? So we'll use those terms throughout the day in our live trade room as we use this in conjunction with the James Wave method of trading. Ultimately, it relies on terms we call swing highs and swing lows, and if you've been watching these videos, you'll know that we've had previous videos that talked about what swing highs and swing lows were. Of course, the bracketing technique we use with this method relies heavily on these swing highs and swing lows, being able to identify them correctly on your charts. Now, we use these brackets majority on a slower time frame. So if you're a 1-minute chart trader, this will be a 10-minute chart. If you're a 10-minute chart trader, this will be a 20 or a 15-minute chart. So it's used in a slower time frame. It's going to help us see the big picture of the market. A lot of traders get hung up with the fact that they're trying to trade on a market in a time frame that's moving too quickly. They don't slow down, zoom out, and get a bird's eye view of the big picture. When used on a slower time frame, our bracketing technique is going to allow you to see that big picture, right? See where multiple levels of highs and lows are over a day, a week, a month, even a quarter. Now, we perform these brackets, we place these brackets on our charts manually, and it's done at the open at 2:45 in the morning. So when we open the trade room every morning, we're going to place our brackets. Of course, that's in preparation for the day ahead. Now, we'll also modify those brackets at around 9 a.m. Eastern Time. We'll transition from the European session over to preparing for the U.S. market open. As you guys know, we have about 20 minutes there just before the U.S. Open where we go over the brackets that we've used so far, and we make certain modifications to the brackets based upon price action that's happened that day. Now, this is essential for trading sideways markets, and this is where we really shine as James Wave traders. In these sideways or horizontal, low volume, choppy markets we're seeing right now, this bracketing technique is ultimately essential for trading those sideways markets, and it's essential for identifying a moving market. Now, you'll hear me say all the time in the trade room, my goal as a James Wave trader is to identify a moving market, participate in that market, and then get out when it stops moving. That's ultimately a very simplistic way of thinking about it, but that's the basic fundamentals of being a day trader. So it's essential for identifying that moving market. Now, here's an example of somewhat how this bracketing process works. So imagine these green lines are candlesticks. Now, the bracketing process starts by looking at our long-term trend lines. We're going to find what our long-term trend line looks like. It could be up, it could be down, it could be sideways. Then we're going to add in our short-term trend line. Now, this is going to be whatever the most short-term trend is. So maybe we've been up for today, and therefore the short-term trend line is an uptrend, whereas we may be down in the month where the long-term trend line is down. Right? That would be, of course, the opposite of this example here. Now, once we have our trend lines drawn, then I'm going to start marking my swing highs. And as I move down, I'll start marking my swing lows. So as you can see, I'm going to start where price is and work down. Mark my swing highs, mark my swing lows, and it will produce what you can see here on your charts, a bracketing of price. Now, come join us tomorrow morning in our live trade room. Now, a copy of the beginner's course is recommended. It's kind of a prerequisite for our live trade room. It helps us maintain the cost of the room, and it's a great fundamental foundation to lay to get you off on the right foot, right, with our live trade room. Trade room opens at 2:45 a.m., so come out and join us. It's available for lifetime members and trial members. We're going to trade all the way through the European session and the U.S. session, so come stay with us for the Euro session or just the U.S. session as long as you want. We have 3 very simple jobs, guys. That is identify, adjust, and execute. We identify the news events, the type of market. We adjust to those news events. We adjust to what type of market we see, and we practice patience and discipline to execute those trades. And we remind you guys to stop thinking so much. Let our simple mechanical rules do the trading for you. And we don't charge for that stuff, guys. Come out and join us as a free trial, and I'll give you those rules, right? I'll show you how you can be trading this without you ever have to spend a dollar. Okay, so come out and join us tomorrow. Now, here's some of the trades we took today. Now, a member, or should I say a guest this morning, asked me a good question, and that was, what is the weakness of your methodology, right? What's the weakness, if it has any, of your methodology? And my answer was you, me, us, right? The human beings that actually use our methodology. Now, I'll tell you right now, it sounds very simple. Show up, follow our rules, and you will make money. But boy, we all know that tends to be a little bit more difficult sometimes because of that human emotion, right? The fear, the greed, the impulsive trading, and of course, things like our discipline cycle and other exercises we go over during our live trade room will help you guys get through those emotions and help turn them into an asset from a liability. Now, let's talk about the crude oil today. Second day in a row, we've made some good money here on crude oil. Made some money on DAX early this morning. We gave it back. Made a little bit of money on gold, but the majority of the money we made today was on our crude oil market. Very active. Although it was very slippery price action, we were able to get into a bunch of good moves, and as you can see here, got our morning started off on the right foot, 49 minutes past the hour of 4 o'clock. Okay, so creeping into the end of the European session. This is a wave long at 29. This particular first entry here was at 4 tick winner. It was a first profit target at 4. Moved our stop up to entry and stopped me out for 4 ticks. Now this is where a little bit of experience really came in handy. I quickly identified price was still moving pretty quickly. Momentum swung to the upside. All of my rules lined up here. Got above that 25 level you can see there marked to the left. And once I was above 25, got back in again at 29 again. Now this is where we made our money on this re-entry. Got us here 50 minutes past the hour, so literally a split second after we got our first entry filled and out. This one took us at 4, 8, and 40. Now this move happened so quickly that a lot of our members had no idea their targets had already been filled. In fact, as you can see, that 40 tick final target was actually a predetermined target on my dome. So I didn't even move a thing. It was a pretty remarkable trade. Literally just put about $500 in your back pocket in a matter of a heartbeat. So got off to a good start here, right? 52 ticks plus 4, that's 56 ticks at $10. That's 560, right, on a 3 contract account. Pretty good way to start our morning. Now we then went over to about 7 o'clock this morning. Just after 7 o'clock, had to wait for price to kind of chop around a little bit. At 7 o'clock, had a 2-step short here set up. Everyone knew it was coming. Didn't have any price action though, so we missed that trade. So we opted out of that 4 a.m., that 2-step short. So another example of how low volume environments like we're seeing right now, guys, can, it can make it a little bit more difficult to get into some of these trades. As you can see though, the move worked out, would have been a winning move. Just simply couldn't finesse the entry. 7:18 this morning, 18 minutes past the hour of 7 o'clock. This is another 2-step long here at 71. This one again made us pretty good money. This is a 2-step, so it's a counter trend trade, which means I'm taking profit a little bit early here. So 3 and 6 as opposed to 4 and 8 earlier on in the trading session on a trend continuation trade, such as the wave pattern. So 13 ticks in our back pocket, add it to our 56, and as you guys can see, this is quickly adding up to the $860 some odd we put in our trade account today for 3 contracts. Okay, so once again, crude oil futures here, guys. We don't care what we're trading. It can be stock index futures, it can be single stocks, it can be commodity futures, guys. It really doesn't matter. Let's do a quick recap. Live trade room, it's going to open up tomorrow morning at 2:45 a.m. Come out and join us tomorrow. That's Eastern time. We're going to trade 8 different markets. Well, guys, we'll trade pretty much anything. Okay, so if you're trading something like the bonds or crude oil, gold, wheat, soybeans, the S&P, the DAX, maybe the Russell, the Euro, or the bond, we'll trade them all, right? And we'll ultimately give you live calls with entries, targets, and stops. Plenty of opportunity for questions, so bring your questions. Plan on spending the whole day with us. You'll see the market in a completely different way, and we'll give you a 3-week free trial just to show you we mean business. I want to remind you too, the beginner's course is recommended for all trial members, so pick up a copy of the beginner's course on your way in for your first day at school. Send us an email, sales@schooloftrade.com for more information. My name is Joseph James. I'm the developer and the co-pilot of our live trade room. Hope to see you guys out there tomorrow morning. Thanks for your time today. Hope the video helps. We'll see you in the room tomorrow.